And welcome to the Cedar Falls Committee of the Whole meeting this November 19th, 2018. I'll now call this meeting to order. We have 4 items on the agenda for this committee meeting: a Planning and Zoning Commission interview, the Greater Cedar Valley Alliance update, fiscal year 2018 audit report, and the bills and payroll. Starting off, I'd like to invite Mr. Larson to come to the microphone, and this is the interview process for folks willing to serve our city. In this instance, it'll be for planning and zoning, so if you wouldn't mind giving a minute or two background of yourself, and we'll see if council has any questions for you.
Thank you. My name's Kyle Larson. I'm a Cedar Falls lifer. I have a wife and 3 kids, 3rd generation at Orchard Hill, so needless to say, we're vested. I've got a construction company called LGC. We build primarily single-family homes, mostly in Cedar Falls as of recent years, but throughout the Cedar Valley and some of the extended areas. Been in business for 13 years now, and I feel we are the leading custom home builder in the Cedar Falls, Waterloo greater area. That's the nutshell version.
Sure, appreciate that. And just for the public and for the folks here for council, we did our preliminary with the interview with the Mayor Pro Tem and administrative head of the council as well this last Friday. But I will open it up for the greater council to ask any questions of Mr. Larson.
Do you feel like your professional experience gives you a different perspective on some of the issues that come before planning and zoning?
Yes, absolutely they do. I've partly from my construction experience, but also being involved with the Home Builders Association. I was the president for 2 years of that, and in the residential arena, I feel like if there was anything new or exciting happening, we were early responders to it. As part of that, obviously there's some, there's negotiating the various opinions involved, and then trying to see the greater good. So I feel like that experience was very valuable. And I guess in my construction company, our client base often comes to us as a design builder, so we're very known for our design and architectural work, and so I feel like that also lends well to this role with respect to architectural review, as far as design and where where it's where those lines are, I guess, and what makes something look attractive, and more than anything, what the collective finds to look attractive. I mean, we're observant to trends and those sorts of things. So yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
Mr. Burr?
Kyle, when we met Friday, we talked quite a bit about possible conflicts of interest. After a couple other days to think of it, do you think that there would be any potential conflicts?
I can't say that there would not be, but if there were, I can say that they would be easy to recognize for me, and that I'm confident in the way I would handle that situation if it were to arise. I would be speculating as to what that situation could be because of the business I'm in and the small community that we live in at the end of the day, relationships and otherwise. But I don't have anything concretely planned right now within my business interests that would be a conflict.
Okay. Thank you, and thanks for your willingness to serve.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is an update from our Greater Cedar Valley Alliance. I think we have Eric and Carrie and Lisa and Cassie here.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name's Eric Johnson. I'm serving this year as the chair of the Greater Cedar Valley Alliance and Chamber. Want to thank you for our past work together. I, along with the other volunteer board members made up of community leaders, business leaders, do some of the work, but most of the work is done by staff, and so that's how this will go. I'll talk for a minute, and then I'll talk for the rest of the time. Our purpose, of course, is to try to help our Cedar Valley grow, including the Cedar Falls community. We work in conjunction with the communities. Obviously, the communities do a large part of that lifting themselves by making fertile environments for businesses to grow, and you here in the Cedar Falls community have done a great job, both you and your predecessors, in creating a great business environment. Obviously, the businesses themselves would tell you they do a large part of making businesses grow, and we like to think that we're also a part of that in partnering with you. And so that's our focus, is trying to partner with you, partner with those businesses, and sometimes act as that interconnector between businesses and regions to try and get things going. So that's my talk. I'll turn it over to the staff who will give you more specifics.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
Good evening, Mayor Brown and council members. We appreciate, as Eric said, your ongoing collaboration with us, both on the economic development end, but also community development as well. At our last presentation back in May, I was reporting out on a company visit that recently happened, and this company had an immediate need for industrial space in the Cedar Valley area. That project, that company first contacted us and was looking for about 20,000 square feet. When Eric talked about being the connector, that's exactly what we were. So we assembled all the property that we could find that met that spec and then some in the entire Cedar Valley region. And after some desktop review by the company, they decided they just wanted to look at one building in the city of Cedar Falls in the industrial park, the 40,000 square foot spec building that Brent Dahlstrom built several years ago. So being that connector we were, immediately contacted Shane and turned it over for Shane and Brent to close. And I'm happy to say that they were very successful in doing it through that three-way collaboration with Shane's involvement and, of course, with Brent. The company is leasing 20,000 square feet. They just took occupancy on November 1. They have a 5-year lease, which is great. The company is called PPI for short. Precision Pulley and Idler is their full name. And they will operate this facility, this square footage, as a warehouse service center. Initially employ about 3 people, and we're hoping eventually over the years that they'll add a manufacturing component. They're headquartered in Pella, Iowa, but their footprint is global. They have facilities in Chile and in Canada as well. As you saw in your report, we provided an update. There are 25 opportunities, both existing and external leads. Most of them are external as of this month. And since our last update, 5 of those are new opportunities. And we actually had one prospect visit last month, a very substantial project. And again, I have to congratulate on Shane and the team, the City of Cedar Falls team, as well as CFU for being prepared and anticipating every question that they would have. So definitely top notch. I was encouraged right after the visit, the company or the consultant had reached out to the state of Iowa and said, we have some more questions and some more granular information we want on this site in Cedar Falls. So thanks to, again, Shane and CFU, that information was assembled rather quickly and forwarded on to the consultant with much appreciation. So we're right now in a holding pattern, but not by much, of seeing what that next step will be. So I think that's when always the client wants some information that quick after the visit, it shows that they're continuing to be engaged in the site. They see something there and they just need to look into it a little further. So I consider that a good job well done on both ends. We have just started on this external marketing and started a Midwest prospecting initiative last month. And the intent is to connect with 1,000 companies that have already been identified, and we have the list in Excel. And traditional telemarketing or outreach to these companies is identifying, reaching out to every single one of them, usually several times, and identifying whether they have expansion plans. Those 1,000 companies right now are based in a combination of Illinois and Wisconsin markets. To follow up with 1,000 companies, that's going to take probably the next 7 months to do it and do it well. And in our business, it's more of a numbers game. So out of 1,000 companies, cold calling them and reaching out to them, our expectation is at least 8 interests or projects or companies that are interested in having further conversation with us about expansion opportunities. And in July, we started a new partnership with a European consulting firm to assist us with lead generation throughout Europe and be an extension of ourselves. And so far, they've generated 3 quality leads for us that we've been able to go back to Shane and the rest of the city staff to put together a proposal. So we're off to a good start, and for a nominal cost, by the way. Since our last update, staff has visited with 9 Cedar Falls companies on a variety of issues. Some of them were conducting existing business interviews, a couple workforce assistance issues, and there was one who wanted some conversation and discussion about long-term expansion plans for their international company as well. At the beginning of July, we also became founding sponsors of Red Cedar, not only just in a financial situation, but also providing services as well. Carrie currently serves on the governance committee, and with Red Cedar's leadership, we will look at collectively restarting our conversations on the Regional Innovation Network to support early-stage companies in Cedar Falls and the Cedar Valley. We're also committed to promoting Red Cedar's events and sponsorship and network opportunities through the Alliance and Chambers events, so people know what Red Cedar is and what they do, and we can start some robust conversations and continue to move the needle forward to support their efforts, which support ours. This fall, UNI was also awarded, along the same line, a matching program grant money through the U.S. Economic Development Administration to establish a business retention and expansion innovation network. And what the program really consists of is how it could help existing businesses within our region adopt innovation, particularly manufacturers, by utilizing technology that will help release some of their workforce shortage, but also potential of new revenue streams for existing businesses. That's going to be a 5-year program. IDM's going to lead it, and we're going to collaborate with them as well as Red Cedar, several UNI departments, as well as Hawkeye Community College and ISU as well. By the time we give our next update, we will have a strategy laid out of what we're going to do over the next 5 years, and implementation already started when we report out next. Cassie's going to deliver the talent component and the initiatives and get a little bit more detailed on that, but since I have the mic, I want to thank the city and city council for Colleen's work with from the Cedar Falls Human Rights Commission. She was, her role and engagement with the Economic Inclusion Summit was really helpful. Gained a new colleague and a friend as a result of that, but her passion was appreciated, and we appreciate your engagement to make it a successful event. And Cassie will talk about the details of that here in a moment. Do we want to wait for questions at the end, Mayor?
If council has anything now while you're up, Lisa, we can ask council for any questions. Good to go.
Thank you,
Lisa. Appreciate it.
As Lisa said, my name's Cassie Grimswin, and I'm the Director of Talent Development at the Alliance and Chamber. In our talent development work at the Alliance, we focus on talent attraction, connecting with college students, economic inclusion, and removing workforce barriers, and working with our regional educational institutions. Live the Valley, our talent attraction initiative, was relaunched on August 28th of this year. This consisted of launching a new website, a companion magazine, and more fully using our social media presence, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We've begun partnering on our Live the Valley initiative with the Cedar Valley Regional Partners, or CVRP, as you might have read it. The website's very visual. It's full of photos and videos showing off the livability of our region. And we encourage you to view it if you haven't already seen it. It's just livethevalley.com, pretty simple URL. The site also contains a job board, which is full of opportunities from all around the region, and we use our social media presence to promote those job openings. Since July 1st of this year, we've had over 5,300 unique users on the website. So that's individual users. If someone revisits the site, that doesn't double count them. So over 5,000 users. There's a graph in your packet that will show you how our website views spiked after that launch on August 28th. Since July 1st, our job board has also received over 5,300 views. We've had a 10% increase in followers on our Facebook page since the launch, and we currently have 4,800 people that like our Facebook page. Facebook posts with content that was focused on Cedar Falls have reached over 43,000 people since July 1st. The Live the Valley magazine, a companion piece to the website, was delivered during our launch to approximately 100 Cedar Falls companies, and a digital version of this is also available on our website, so we're reaching more than just those people with the physical magazines. Another talent attraction initiative we're working on is called the iWin Project, which is led by the Technology Association of Iowa. The iWin Project connects with Iowa expats and other tech talent interested in moving to Iowa by hosting events, using social media, and sending email newsletters. Those email newsletters are sent to 1,500 people, and they have an average open rate of 35%, so a pretty high open rate. We've highlighted CFU's internet capacity, Jam City, and scientific games in these emails. We've also participated in iWin Project networking events in Chicago and Denver, and we've represented Cedar Valley companies hiring tech talent at these events, including Cedar Falls-based CBE, Distech, FarReach, Jam City, John Deere, Scientific Games, and SpinUtech. In fact, SpinUtech actually sent a representative to our event in Chicago. As I mentioned, we're working to connect with college students. We participated in the University of Northern Iowa Career Fair in September, where we spoke to about 50 students about opportunities for employment in the Cedar Valley post-graduation. And we did this under the umbrella of Live the Valley. Every summer, we host the Summer Series, a series of events to connect with college students who are interning or working part-time in the Cedar Valley over the summer. This year, we hosted events at Lost Island, Single Speed in Waterloo, and Millrace in downtown Cedar Falls, and we had 200 attendees collectively at these events. 13 Cedar Falls companies sent students, and 64 of the students who attended were from UNI, but 40 of the students who attended were actually from out of state. Economic inclusion is a key area of focus for us. We hosted our Economic Inclusion Conference in partnership with the University of Northern Iowa at the Diamond Event Center in Cedar Falls in October of this year. We had 370 attendees, and our keynote speaker, Nika White, received a 4.6 out of 5 rating by 109 attendees who took a post-conference survey. We continue to add resources to our Economic Inclusion Toolkit, which is available on our website. The toolkit's received 472 page views since July 1st, and we've just updated the look of the website to make it easier to use, so we expect to do a big marketing push to drive those page views. We've identified that childcare is a key workforce barrier. Because of this, we've been partnering with the Black Hawk Child Care Coalition, which focuses on increasing childcare availability and affordability. We've contributed by surveying local businesses on childcare specific questions, and we had 94 companies participate in this survey, which helped to quantify the cost of turnover due to childcare. And a 1G infographic was created from this survey, and that is also in your packets. Lastly, we've continued to work with our regional educational institutions. We hosted a tech education roundtable in July, bringing together technology leaders and technology educators to discuss the future needs of technology talent. We had educators from UNI, Cedar Falls High School, and Hawkeye Community College participate. The Alliance and Chamber served on the planning committee for Cedar Valley's Future Ready Iowa Summit, which took place just last week. The summit had over 300 attendees, and we really think it sparked great collaborative conversation. We're excited to see what comes from that. So that gives you an idea of what we've been working on in the area of talent development. And with that, I'll hand it over to Carrie.
Thank you, Cassie.
Thank you, Cassie. Carrie Dara with the Greater Cedar Valley Alliance and Chamber. Mayor, council, staff, it's always great to see you. Thank you for listening to us and being interested in what we're doing, and most of all for supporting us in what we do, because we know that you're good partners with us. Just at a high level, I'll mention a few things. As you know from the last time that we were here, we've gone through a transition, a leadership change, some other staff changes. In my role, anymore is to make sure that our experts, who you heard from, our professionals, have the tools they need, are supported, that they are connected with the things that they need to be better partners for you and to help with your projects, as well as be the representative of the Alliance and Chamber at the many events that Cassie mentioned with our partnership with the cities. I've been meeting with the mayors on a monthly basis. So we know how important it is for us to be present and to be with you and with our other stakeholders as you make progress along the way. In the transition, one of the things that we have done through our strategic planning process is embrace a rebranding effort. And so right about 2/3 of the way through that, we've been having meetings with Amperage, who are the group from Cedar Falls, as you know. They're doing a great job identifying the strengths of our organization, our market, our stakeholders, and making sure that we're on target to be able to help move the needle for all of our partners. So we are in a very good place. Internally, we've been doing a lot of cultural enhancements for our team. Externally, we've been getting an immense amount of support from the community when we go out. We know that we provide a role in making sure that what's going on in the Cedar Valley is celebrated. Beyond the Waterloo-Cedar Falls area, we are a region that the businesses externally need to know this is a place that they can do business well. So with that, I again want to thank Cassie and Lisa. We do have excellent professionals who really want to help you get your projects done. We know that you couldn't do it just by yourselves, and we certainly know we couldn't do it without the partnerships, without the cities. So what we're here to do, what our commitment is to help grow the Cedar Falls economy, and especially the Cedar Valley economy for all of us. I know everyone's waiting for questions if you have any about our efforts.
Anything?
Any comments?
Mr. Mayor? Yes, can you speak to anything as far as the Alliance's role for socioeconomic diversity and workforce development for the various communities here in Cedar Falls?
Absolutely, and that's exactly the Economic Inclusion Summit that we, along with the University of Northern Iowa, held. We know that not only that it's the right thing to do to reach out into all ethnic communities, it's the very necessary thing to do for our businesses from a workforce standpoint. Our population isn't growing at the rate that the open job positions are growing, so we have to reach into the underemployed and the folks that need to be upskilled. So I believe that the economic inclusion really is an effort that's reaching the broader Cedar Valley and all of the ethnic and diverse communities. And I know Cassie and Lisa would be happy to speak more to that if you like. Good?
Thank you.
Good question, thank you, because that is a priority of ours to continue, especially from the Future Ready Iowa and Economic Inclusion Summits that were held. Anything else?
Appreciate all the work that you put in, Carrie, over the last couple of months.
Yep.
I think we're
Thank
seeing
you.
very real progress, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much. Well, yeah, I'm sure you'll see us before, but for sure in 6 months.
Thanks.
Thanks.
You all, appreciate it very much. Next up is Financial Services Manager Lisa Redding for our fiscal year 2018 audit report. I'm trying to talk very slowly since Lisa has to come up from the top. There she is.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, City Council, Mayor, and Directors. In the committee packet, you had the 2018 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, or CAFR. The city is required by various state and federal regulations to publish a complete set of financial statements. These need to be presented in accordance with the generally accepted accounting principles. As you're aware, our fiscal year ends on June 30th, and we start the process of converting the books to a full accrual basis. This process can take over 600 hours. It is completed by Director Rodenbeck, Kathy Niebergall, and myself, along with the assistance from others in the financial services area. By no means do we wait until June 30th to complete the process or start it. We do review the financial statements throughout the year, making sure everything is accurately recorded. The auditors complete their preliminary field work in June and come back in September for the final field work. The auditors reviewed and tested the things, various things in our financial statements. They had no findings, and there was no questionable costs reported. The auditors gave an unmodified or clean opinion, and that is the best opinion that can be given for an independent audit. The auditors have stated the financial statements have been presented fairly with all material respects and with respect of governmental activities. The independent audit of the financial statements is part of a broader federally mandated single audit process that we have to do with regards to being a federal grantor. The single audit engagement requires independent auditors to not only report on the fair presentation of the financial statements, but also they need to report that the government is complying with internal controls, compliance with legal requirements involving the administration of the federal awards. The information in this single audit is included in the audit book that you've reviewed underneath the schedule of expenditures of federal awards. This lists all of the federal expenditures that we had for the grant period for 2018. We had 13 federally funded grants, and this totaled over $6 million. The largest of this single audit was in the program of highway planning and construction, which included $3.6 million in expenditures, and this included the West First Street project, Green Hill Road extension, and the West 20th Street Bridge. Again, during this audit process, we review these expenses, make sure the grant is in compliance with all the laws, regulations, and provisions of the grant agreement. Tonight, I would ask for a motion to approve the fiscal year 2018 Comprehensive Financial Report. We will, per Iowa code, file this with the State Auditor's Office, and it will also be available on the city's website. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Lisa, Mr. Blanford?
Lisa, just want to thank your team for all the time that you put into this. I know it's a very complex undertaking. I think our audit continues to show what a stable position that we're in and all the work that you guys put into it. It's no surprise you've been recognized how many times at the state level for the financial performance of the city and how well you guys manage your operations. So thank you very much for everything that you do.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you also, but I have a question. A couple years ago, the state required us to get more detail on our reporting and added steps that we had to take, which obviously had to add time to your staff to do it. Has that been easy for you to assimilate into your workload? Are you still having the manpower to do it?
Yes, I believe we've had no issues. We usually, request the information, whether it be for the pensions or with the additional health plans. We do have a new staff member, Paul Kokler, an accountant, so that will help a little bit in the coming years as he gets more acclimated to all of the processes at the city. So I think we've got additional staff that will be able to take care of it.
Thank you for your reporting.
Anything further questions for Lisa? There was a request to have council have a motion to approve the audit report as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great job. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
The final item for this evening's committee of the whole meeting is there a motion to approve bills and payroll.
So moved.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. This concludes this evening's committee of the whole. And at the top of the hour, we will begin our regular city council meeting. Thank you.